Hello friends, in today's video I'm going to be doing some baking. I'm going to do a Christmas baking series. I got this book, I don't even know, so many years ago, and I've never actually made anything out of it, and I was looking for different ideas for the holidays this year, and I found 4 recipes in here that I want to try. None of them are going to be in any way Trim Healthy Mama. I'm not even going to try to convert them to that. I'm just going to do them exactly how the recipe says because it's the holidays, and yeah, sometimes you just got to eat white sugar and white flour. But for today's video I'm going to do these cookies. They're called Coffee Hermits, and they've got instant coffee and chocolate chips and nuts, and yeah, you can't go wrong with that. That's what they look like in the picture. And I'm going to quickly go over the ingredients and then we will get started making these cookies. So for this recipe you're going to need some vegetable shortening, and it didn't say or butter, so I'm just going to use shortening. I'm going to do this recipe exactly how it calls and what it calls for. Brown sugar, no white sugar, just brown sugar, all-purpose flour, instant coffee, and I've got the Nescafe brand, but you can use whatever kind you have, baking soda, cinnamon, salt, nutmeg, chocolate chips, chopped pecans, and the only thing I'm doing different in this recipe is that it calls for raisins, but I do not like raisins, and so I'm going to use dried cranberries instead. And I forgot to mention we also need 2 eggs and 1/4 of a cup of water. I'm going to go ahead and take this blade. I'm going to take this blade off for a minute so you can see what I'm doing. In a mixing bowl, you need to combine the shortening, 1 cup of shortening, and 2 cups of packed brown sugar. Then you just combine this till it's completely mixed together. And then you blend in the 2 eggs. And then you add the 1/4 of a cup of water. In a separate bowl, you want to combine 3 cups of flour, 4 tablespoons of the coffee, instant coffee, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And you just blend these all together, all the dry ingredients together thoroughly. And then you mix the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. so then you fold in all the yummy yummies, the chocolate chips, the cranberries, and the pecans, and you'll want 1 cup of each. All right, then you put these, like you saw, I put the dough, I dropped them by rounded teaspoons on parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can use just a greased cookie sheet. Bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. When the first batch comes out, I'll bring you back and we will do a taste test, me and Olivia. And then I'll bring you back when all the cookies are done and show you the final count of how many we got. All right, the first batch came out and they look delicious. They smell so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try one, and I'm gonna have Olivia try one, and we'll give it a taste test. They're really too hot right now, so I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes for them to cool, and then we'll try one. Warm. Probably maybe a little too warm, but I just can't resist any longer. I can't wait any longer. I'm gonna go ahead and break it open. Oh yeah, it's still pretty hot. Boy, does it ever smell good. I can smell the coffee and I can smell the nutmeg in them. So I'm gonna give it a try. That is really good. Now the coffee flavor is not real strong, but it might be because these are actually still pretty warm. But they're really good. They're not overly sweet. I expected them to be overly sweet. They're not overly sweet. They're not overly spicy. They're different. They're different, but they're really, really good. Let's see what Olivia has to say. What do you think? What's the most prominent thing you taste in them?
Probably the nutmeg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the coffee I figured would be stronger, but it's not. But it's really good.
They're nice and crunchy.
Mm-hmm. But they're chewy.
Still soft.
Yeah, they're chewy on the inside, crunchy on the outside. I had a bite that had the had a cranberry in it, and that was really, really good. It added a little bit of tartness. I don't know, they're really different. They're a very different kind of cookie, but they're pleasant to eat, and they are going to be so good with a cup of coffee, I'm telling you. All right, I'll bring you back when I have all the cookies done so you can see the final count. All right, there you are, friends. There they are in all their glory. We got almost exactly 5 dozen cookies out of that recipe. Now, I actually doubled the recipe because I knew my family and I knew how we like cookies. So you can half it or you can double it. You can double it and freeze them, and you can make them ahead for the holidays, whatever you choose to do. I would highly recommend that you give them a try. If you're looking for something different, this will fit the bill. They're really, really tasty, but I've never tasted another cookie quite like them before. They came out of this book by Gooseberry Patch. I will have the recipe written out in the description box below, and I highly recommend that you give them a try. Thanks so much for watching today, friends. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know if you plan on giving these cookies a try. We'll talk to you later, friends. Bye-bye.